Hey everybody, it's Texas Trucker here, Lance's Performance Shop, LoneStarMopars.com. And Monday night came out here. I had to make a little follow-up on this thing and all the issues and make some updates to the video. When doing that, I thought, man, can't just like have that as a standalone, need to do something with it. So I kind of teased some upcoming things for the shop, some expansions, some upgrades, if you will. And since I was out here and I was, messing around with the boxes and opening stuff up, I thought, man, I just need to get this video recorded and go to town, see what we think of this stuff that we brought in. So, what we have, first off and foremost, we've got another U.S. General hook, this time in red. These suckers are about $5.99, somewhere in that range. We almost have the entire Skittle lineup. I bought two of these. I think we're going to have to keep one here. But, I'm going to take this one to work. I've got an orange one, which I would much rather have here because it matches the cart that I have. Red's color at work. That's a red door. That's a UPS sign that we put up there. It's laminated. You used to have to tape it. I hated the tape. I hated always having to cut the tape, clean the tape off, every couple of weeks or month, or whenever you get around to it, or the caliche dust is too bad. My idea of using this has worked out really, really well. And this is just going to allow me to put this in place of my orange one and bring it back home. So have the new one right here. If you're curious, you can typically find these on their service carts. They kind of have them piled in corresponding color. I have never, ever been able to find a red one locally. I don't know why. I was placing an order online. They've been having some big sales I've been taking advantage of. Spoiler alert, this video is also way out of order. We haven't, covered a lot of the stuff that you've actually seen in the big haul, and then two, I've gotten a lot of stuff in since then. Some of the stuff that should be in this video is actually in the house or in the car or being used. One of the items, which is a flashlight, is still in the packaging. I've loved that little thing. I'm kind of sad I didn't have it out here, but that's something we brought in. Then it's a situation, this was in like the clearance section at the time. I think I paid like $2 for it, $2.69. It's this little Thunderbolt household battery tester. It's currently $5.99 and it didn't show up as clearance, which is good news for you because if you like the looks of this thing, you can actually snag it. But the way this thing pans out, it's kind of cool, I have to say. We quickly kind of covered it in the previous one. I'm going to zoom in here for you. Get accurate readings on AA, AAA, CD, 9V, and 1.5 button cell batteries. Those are kind of the inspiration for picking this item up. I'm not going to lie, we've got an issue. I've been having to do a ton of stuff with them. Door openers are all going out. My mom and sister have key fobs that are constantly saying that the batteries are dead when I've just replaced them, and I kind of want to get to the bottom of it. So, instructions: connect 9V battery to base of tester, or open the tester and clamp around 1.2 to 1.5, AAA, AA, C, or D battery. Only connect a single battery and observe the collect polarity when testing. Read test results. Rechargeable batteries provide lower voltage and may indicate lower capacity even when fully charged. Remove battery being tested immediately after testing. Do not test for longer than 1 minute. So, already opened it up again for that little quick video that we did. This will give you, I guess while we're still zoomed in, a decent look at it. So the main scale, you've got replace, recharge, you've got low and yellow, and you've got good. And then the button cell battery, very similar scale, but the green extends way farther down this way, and then you've got your kind of dead zone there. So 9V batteries, which pretty much all those get used in is smoke alarms, and no one ever has them. And then you have a smoke alarm go off and keep you up all night, and you get them. So, moving on over here, though, you've got two tabs. You've got the minus and the plus. So you line your polarity there. You kind of pinch the battery, I guess, as best you can. And what I'm going to do, these little guys came out of my Klein multimeter. They are the OEM batteries, and they finally died. So what we're going to do is sandwich it in like so. It's sort of hard to do with a camera in front of you, but these are reading out about like they were in the previous one. They're just right there at the ragged edge of good and yellow. These were working fine for the meter, but if I turned the backlight on, it just killed it instantly and made the battery light flash. So pay attention to where that is. I think that's a slightly better look for you. It's literally on like the black edge before the yellow. And so now, one of the items I picked up for $6.99, but these were on sale with a coupon, so I didn't pay near that for them. Is some Thunderbolt Edge. I've never had their AA or AAA batteries. I bought the button cells there. I bought some other stuff. I bought the really, really cheap ones way back in the day. I don't even know if they had these. But this would sort of be like their cream of the crop. They're the alkaline batteries, right? So, they claim, right here on this chart, they're comparing themselves to like Duracell and Energizer, and Thunderbolt is right there with them. We shall see. One thing I don't like right off the bat is I'm used to Duracell and Energizer, where it's like a case you can get into a little bit easier, you know what I mean? Or resealable. I always kind of liked Rayovac, and it got really hard to find those locally, so I would just kind of stock up on them. Mainly AA is what I use. But I'm trying to tear this without making a mess of the batteries, so my apologies there. We're just going to take this, and since we have the Thunderbolt household battery tester, we're just going to go ahead and put it through its paces here. We will line that sucker up. Check it out. So note that that is way, 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 way closer to the full right side than the left side, and that's kind of what we want. It's also indicating that it would be better lifespan than the old AAA that we know is pretty well out. So, seems to be okay. It looks like these were from April of 2020. Not super old, but I will give you this bit of advice. I ordered these online. If you go in the store to snag your batteries, or maybe that's not 47-2020, maybe that's just another part number. From up here, it looked like there were slashes. So, if that is a date code, pay attention to that. If they all say that, well, that's just me looking at something from an angle. So, keep that in mind. Now, we could potentially reassemble a base to a light. The USB end broke off, and I could test those. Maybe we'll do that at the end of the video. I don't know. But what I kind of want to showcase now is an item from US General. It's going to set you back $17.99 again. There was a big sale, and then there was coupons that would stack on top of that. So that is what I did to acquire the 15 compartment adjustable pliers, right? That's right, adjustable being the key term in this case. It'll hold 15. I don't know if we can eject them out the side. Again, this was an online purchase. I'm not a huge fan of this style of holder. I like the wire racks, but for what I have in mind here, I needed adjustable, and this will be my first experience with them. So, according to the packaging, organize a wide range of plier sizes and can be used to organize large wrenches over 1 inch. Sturdy base grips tools and drawer, keeping everything secure and in place. Compact design takes up less space to maximize your storage space. Dimensions are going to be 12 long, kind of length of the box here, 3.5 wide, and 2.8 tall. That height is probably what unless you have like really, really tiny drawers you're trying to fit this in, the height is probably where you would have your point of interference. So, go ahead. It was already sort of open, so hopefully somebody didn't like rob pieces out of it or something along those lines. This thing is heavier than I thought it would be. I was not expecting a metal base at all, so that's a pleasant surprise. Now, if it will hold 15 pairs of pliers, that was a ticking time bomb, wasn't it? You don't know what happened, but I do, and I'm going to be out here a lot longer now cleaning. But, if this holds 15 pairs of pliers, then we'd know that we need X number of dividers. So, basically, let's actually check this out. I guess that's aluminum. Come to me, PB Swiss. Yeah, seems to be. So, pretty nice feature there, I have to say. I was not expecting that. Now, what I'm doing off camera, I'm trying to see if these end caps will come off. I think they will. So, I'm not going to do it just yet. But see how I've pulled that out? Again, look right above my thumb versus right there where that's flush, okay? So I think you can pull that out, and that's important because let's say that you're putting something really fat in here and these just stack up and you can't get another item. You would want to eject these out one side. So that's going to be a perk. In fact, I mean, let's just do it. So it was that easy. I can do it with a tripod and one-handed, and then these just sort of, let's try to get you a better camera angle there. almost just like extrude hone stuff, right? You'll probably want to watch the edges. They could be a little sharp. But yeah, this sucker just pops out. So whatever you need, you can make happen with these. But the big thing is they are adjustable. And why is that a big deal? Well, I'm about to show you. And we might, spoiler alert, make a standalone video on this, because this is going to be good information for a lot of people that will find themselves in this position. So we'll slide this to the back, okay? For a pliers rack, I'm not going to lie, I prefer the cheap thing. I prefer this, okay? It's not the prettiest thing in the world. I'm not a fan of the red. The sole reason I bought this was for one particular brand of pliers, and no, it's not Knipex. It would be for NWS. I optimistically, again, this was ordered online, I think some Amazon purchase back in the day. Optimistically, I said to myself, maybe it'll be fat enough to accommodate their handles. And if you didn't know, NWS pliers just never really work that well in wire holders. Typically with the good wire holders I like the black ones, you'll have like 2 slots on the end, maybe a few more, that are extra fat, like 2 compartments wide. And most people are like, man, that sucks, you know, it's a waste of space. And then it doesn't hold my pliers, they fall over. That's for the fat handles. Some people don't have fat handles. Some people are like, man, I wish I could get a whole rack like that. I don't know why nobody makes one. I don't know why nobody has like the fat handled rack. Not just 2 slots or 1 on each end, but like the whole thing, extra wide, right? One of those life's little mysteries deals. But with the NWS pliers, this does not work well. And you think, okay, well, hey, you know, I know what would work. They make something just like that, but it's fixed. That would definitely work. They're way bigger spaces than what you have with a little wire rack. Well, I will give you that these are a little bit bigger. But again, the problem is so many of the handles, like, do you see the problem? You know? So some people like to put the handles in and have the, you know, head stick out. Some people like to do it this way. Sometimes it depends on the drawer. The problem is, like, if you're just getting that much of the plier in there, you've got dead real estate at the back, and this sticks out farther, wasting drawer space. There's also even fatter handles than these Fantasticos. What you can do with the adjustable one is do away with all of that problem. You can make this stuff fit. If I want that to be that wide, I can do it. Obviously, you would want to maximize your space here. This might be a deal where if you really, really, really like this, you would basically like slide all the way over, start populating this in the manner that you find best for your particular tools. And if you can get 7 pliers here, you know, where you might be able to get 15, you know, in a standard configuration, you would come in and you would buy another one of these. And you would rinse and repeat. And then if you have a ton of these left over on the side and you're like, man, you know, I think I could fit my wrenches or whatever, then, you know, buy another rail, cram it full of these things. You can fit way more than 15 of these here. But again, it's just going to limit you vertically. It's like playing card size at some point in time, right? Box cutters, anything weird that nothing else really seems to fit. But with the adjustable one, you can actually scale it to your big comfort handles, the sci-fi grips, right? Sometimes even like some Klein stuff doesn't work. Tin snips are another thing, you know, you're just relegated to laying it flat, you know, and taking up 1, 2, 3, you know, for your straight left and right. And if you could turn them like this in a pliers rack, you would save a ton of space. They would take up this much space and you'd have 2/3 of your drawer left. But you can't because they don't fit in the pliers rack. So that's another place where an adjustable one would shine. But that's honestly why I bought this. I wanted to try it. If it works out, I might get another couple of them. But right now, I want to be able to run this for NWS pliers and big fat comfort grips. You know, like sometimes, you know, you might have 7 pairs of EOS with handles like this. 6 of them fit and then the 7th one just doesn't, and it throws you off. This adjustability will save you in that case. So again, if you're thinking like, I don't have these, I'm not going to get them, I'm happy with what I've got, think of your tin snips, think of shears, think of scissors, think of weird items that don't quite work with any rack or storage system. Same thing, a toolbox widget, all that stuff, like it just doesn't work for me. Maybe you can make it work, but I know what I'm looking for, and I think this will hopefully provide it for me. So we might do a whole video when we go to populate that. There are a couple of other items I could throw in here, but I'm not quite sure where I'm going to position this video, so we might just leave it at that. Maybe I'll run this over to a box and we'll populate it. Maybe we'll test out these, we'll put our first 3 AA's into use with this little light. I'll come in, I had to diagnose why the USB didn't seem to work in this, and see that little shiny silver thing in there? That one right there? Yeah, that's supposed to be right here for a USB cable. That doesn't work anymore because somebody did a fantastic job soldering this. And so as much as I wanted this to be plugged in and functional, it's not going to happen. I don't have a spare end like that. I don't think it's salvageable. But this can be battery powered. So I'm going to check the solder job here. Just try to stress relief that with my finger so we don't just sling it off. And we'll see how well these things work. So spoiler alert, before you put this type of stuff back together, run it like this and make sure it works. So that's what I'll do, and we will report back. So yeah, they're at least functional enough to make this happen. So what I will do is throw this thing together, showcase the lamp, and then we'll proceed over to check out the test fit of some pliers. While I was working on this, I remember there's like a whole nother thing I need to do in this video, so it's going to work out great. But check this out. Press down, and you're thinking like, okay, what's the point of that thing? Drop in our glorious Mopar sign and you can see. Alright, so that's what it does. You can turn it off the same way, but let's say that we want a flash. We can do that. Let's say we want a strobe. We can do that. Do we want a fade? Yeah, but do we want purple? Do we want blue? Do we want that color? We can go smooth. We can come in. We can... let's go back to flash. Let's go to, there's a solid color. There's white, there's blue, sky blue, orange, yellow. You get the idea. The cool thing is, if you're thinking like, hey, how come you're not touching that? The remote still works. So we have that thing fully functional, which is fan-frickin-tastic. I've had a lot of fun over here populating something else. But this is kind of like the highlight of the show right here, and I forgot all about it. This little gem right here. Let's set it down, not crush our Stavilla picks, which are indispensable for weird little stuff like we just did. And you're thinking like, whoa, 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 this looks like some cheap tool set. Well, it pretty much is, but this is from Quinn. This is their 66-piece high-vis socket set. Lifetime warranty. This is one of the newer brands to Harbor Freight, if you haven't been there in a long time. Sort of like their mid-tier, I guess you would call it. You got like good, better, best. This is like that mid-range, if you will. Price point on this thing is usually $59.99. It was down to $49.99, and then there was like a promotion or coupon or something that took a good chunk off of that because it was a Quinn item. So did pretty good purchasing this, and you're thinking like, okay, what are you going to do with that? Is this like in a vehicle type of a thing? It would be a good candidate for that. It very well may be, but sadly we cannot open this because I'm going to give it to my nephew. It's one of those things I've kind of been going back and forth with his mom. She doesn't want him to have a toolbox, says she doesn't have enough space, as it, you know, because we're talking like little, you know, roll cart type of a deal, nothing crazy. And she is, I mean, to be fair, she is kind of cramped for space. It could totally work, but, you know, it's her house, so I try not to step on too many toes. But this, I feel like it can go in here. It can be shoved under something. It can be stored in a cabinet. It can be sat on something. You can do a lot of things with something this small. Now, what this is going to do, hopefully, is it will provide me decent, hopefully, tools if I'm over there and ever need them. But also just a nice little starter set. What's interesting and crazy, this is SAE and metric, I assume. For his car, it'll mainly be metric, but, you know, hopefully as he gets into some other stuff, you know, the SAE will come into place as he goes back in time, gets the cool stuff. But this includes 3 72-tooth quick release ratchets. So you're getting 72-tooth ratchets, 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. The craziest thing, the 1/2 inch sockets, you get only, this is really, really interesting. I'm going to spin it around. I guess it's on the back side. Set contents here, you can pay attention to kind of the layout, but 1/2 inch sockets, I assumed it was like an even mix across everything. It's all SAE. There's only 6 of them. 1/2, 9/16, 5/8, 3/4, 13/16, and 7/8. I don't know how they come up with that. I don't know, but basically you get 6 1/2 inch drive SAE sockets, and that's why you get a 1/2 inch drive ratchet. There's no other reason for that to even be in this kit. So I found that to be interesting. I just, purchasing it online, I was like debating a few sets, and I thought, yeah, I think we'll go with that one and give it a shot. If this sucks, it's not a big deal. It can go in his car. I can throw it in one of mine. It's not the end of the world, especially at the price point. But hopefully it's like a decent starter set. Craftsman USA is gone. There's no like budget USA made brand I can give him. The made in Germany stuff is expensive. If he gets more into things, as he gets a little bit older, yes, then we can explore that avenue. But for now, it's just kind of a, hey, I need to do this simple job and this should suffice type of deal. Hopefully. If it sucks, I'll take care of him. If it's decent, then hey, we did good. So 1/4 inch sockets, we basically metric. We go from 4 to 13. Looks to be pretty solid, no skips. The half sizes are there, 4.5, 5.5. SAE, 5/32 to 1/2. I love to see a 9/16 personally, but hey, I'm not going to complain at this price point. SAE deep, which apparently there's no metric deep. You have 1/4, 9/32, 5/16, 11/32. 3/8 sockets. This is kind of like your bread and butter. Metric, we go from 9 with no skips all the way to 19, so roughly like what, 3/4 of an inch? Seems okay. SAE 3/8 to 13/16. SAE deep, we get 3/8, 7/16, 1/2, and 9/16. SAE 8-point, that's new to me. I do 6 and 12. And you got 1/4, 5/16, and 3/8. Spark plug, which this is cool. If I'm ever over there, 13/16 has old Chrysler stuff. That'll work well. Also small engines, it's usually 5/8. Maybe there'd be some oddball. Who knows? Maybe it gets into dirt bikes or something. There's 13/16. I don't know. I'm just, thinking off the top of my head here. So it's primarily, metric is just kept short and stubby, and 1/4 and 3/8, and then again the 1/2 inch is kind of the mind bender there. Ideally, if I'm doing 7/8, I would prefer 1/2 inch drive if it's something that'll fit, if you've got the tolerances for it. But you could totally have put that with 3/8 and just have eliminated, this space with this ratchet. Just had this be 1/4 and 3/8. 3/8 is kind of, to me, the unicorn size. You can basically go from tiny to 1 inch if you wanted to. Really not ideal, but for like a base set, it's fine. Same metric equivalence there. That's really kind of my question. Like, I just sort of assumed, like 1/2 inch is there. There must be like equal number SAE and metric. Not the case. So interesting stuff. Obviously up here, if you've been paying attention to this, those will be our spark plug sockets. I think everything is numbered. The other thing that I thought would be cool for him is they've got the rings on them. So SAE is going to be red, metric's going to be blue. It looks like we get what in terms of extensions? 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. I guess they're all what, probably like 2 or 3 inches. Nothing crazy. I almost would prefer do away with the 1/2 inch ratchet and just put a long 3/8 extension. 6 inch plus. But not trying to break the bank, not trying to step on my sister's toes and give her something she always has to move around, which the ultimate plan, we're going to get him a roll cart of some sort. May not happen at Christmas, but it's going to happen. And so then this goes in there, it's out of sight, out of mind, and she can't easily roll. She's not really thinking, I'm trying to help her get in the cart where she can move the stuff. This is going to have to be drug or lifted or carried. And hopefully the latches are good on it. That's another concern with this type of a deal. You can't even see them. There's provisions there that look like it could have a metal hinge pin. Hopefully it will. Ultimately, I can try to update you on this once it's opened again. I would open it but it's a Christmas gift from me to him, so I don't kind of want to be that guy. You know, as soon as I open this, did I have this and give it to you because I hated it? Did I have it and give it to you because I've had it for 5 years and never touched it? Have I used it religiously every day for the past 3 months and I'm just, hey, here, have this. I got something better. I want it in the plastic for him, so it's going to be a Christmas gift for my nephew. I have zero experience with Quinn outside of what? The 2-pack demo driver set. So yeah, that's kind of going to be it. We'll roll with it. Like I said, you know, if this is sufficient to get by, do menial, simple things, great. If he wants to upgrade at some point, we can do that. If he never gets into things, has basic tools, it'll hopefully work for him, and we'll take it from there. So I want to now wrap this thing up, kind of a train wreck of a video, but hopefully somewhat entertaining, as I'm frantically trying to get this done because it's gotten really late on me. I'm going to go showcase to you what we did with this, just to refresh your memory. Adjustable pliers rack from US General. Again, the surprising thing to me, I had no idea that would be an aluminum base. I figured it was just like cheap plastic, so let's go check it out. Alright, pay no attention to the stuff in the bottom, but we're going to go right here. Nope, we're not. We're going to go right here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so this, I like to do the trick where I leave space on the side of my pliers rack to put weird things that don't necessarily fit even by big, wide adjustable standards. More efficient use of our space, in my opinion. Can't do that because of the height in this drawer. If we were to drop down to the bottom drawer, I think we could do that. Currently, I'm trying to outfit this thing, so it's kind of a mess. Like I said, lots of organization and storage stuff happening. But, again, I want to stress this. See how it's shut and see how it opens? This fits, this works in this shallow of a drawer. Check it out, 2.8 inches was what we had to work with. When was the last time you saw NWS pliers look that good in a rack? Yeah, so the adjustable one is the way to go. I've got these, I had them in different ways. I had them kind of grouped by length, and I was like, well, no, I think for the video we'll probably do it by type. So we got, like, obviously, you know, like your cable shears on the end, which those have been dropping little fragments off every time I touch them. That's not from the tool, that's from me using them on cutting something with fragments. Got the Fantastico, sort of your oddball, you know, length and funky handles. Got combination, we've got the 2 finishes there. Then we've got 3 different sizes, actually, from kits and me trying to assemble like road deals. Then we've got, I only have 1 pair, believe it or not, of straight up NWS side cutters. 2 different size needle nose. This one has seen quite a bit of use. Then the 2 Filos. This guy, I'm not going to lie, that thing had been in a bag. I was saving it for like a comparison video, so it's totally mint. This one's actually seen quite a bit of use, but it's clean on the outside, dirty on the inside, so it's also got antices all over the back, but we don't have to worry about that here. So, the bottom line though, check out what that thing looks like. Again, adjustable US General pliers rack. I think that's the ticket for NWS stuff, so how many did we fit? Again, this said, what, 15 pliers is what it would fit. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and basically no space. Again, I like to typically do something like that, you know, where you like give yourself a freebie type of a thing. Granted, some drawers, the racks fit perfectly. Some of them, they don't. If they're small like this, partial size, slide her on over, create yourself a free spot there where it's pinned in by the effect of the rack, you know. But yeah, so right here in this little vice grips, which a couple of these are in the house right now from that bake element repair, but I've got 4 left over. So take that for what you will. Is there an event where you could possibly have super tiny, super thin pliers and you could utilize leftovers and build a more populated rack? Possibly, we'd have to try it, but I'm thinking off the top of my head sort of like flush cutters, super fine precision electronics pliers, circlip stuff. Maybe you could fit 16, 18, 20. I don't know. Again, we'd have to play with it. But for NWS fat handles, this is so cool. The way these work, what I've done on that little groove, which you totally can't see it, but, you know, basically the way these legs are, you know, that's our rail in there. And so I've kind of taken this edge of the pair of pliers and sat it down right there. Some people like to have the business ends out, some people like to have the handles out. In my opinion, when you have the handles at the back of the drawer, I like to have the business end out so I can quickly, if I'm looking at the handles, they all look identical. Like, I'm not going to know, oh, this is my 8-inch combination plier and that's the 8-inch side cutter right beside the Fantastico. I don't know. I have to look way back there. Sometimes that's occluded by the drawer, depends how they open. You know, some drawers come out all the way. Others, like this one, sort of recess a little bit. So keep that in mind, but my typical setup is kind of like this, at least on one side. Again, it sort of depends. I like to have both sides populated. In a small drawer like this, you can't necessarily do that. Again, if you had tiny pliers here, it would work sweet. But like if we were to come in and try to put, you know, like this pair of Knipex, it ain't happening. You know, you'd have to stagger set everything, just be weird, and then you couldn't get your hands under anything. But if we wanted to, could we take these and flip them? Yeah, you could do that. But again, you kind of see what I'm talking about. Like, you're going to see this. That's sort of off in the shadow region. There's no trickery, nothing I've done. It's just the shadow region. So is this an awl? Is it a long needle nose pairs? You don't really know. But then whenever it is set up like this, boom, you can easily tell. I just slide my hand under, pick them up. Works well for me. So we've got that figured out. That's awesome. Again, I'll probably, just for all the NWS or fat-handled plier people, let's face it, like fit shears fall into this category. You know, they don't really fit in this other stuff. Some of them sort of fit here, some don't. It's really strange. And then like these wire racks, you cannot do what I just did with this pair of wire racks. So short of custom making your own, this is a pretty decent option. A little surprised by the price. I wouldn't think it would quite cost that much, but hey, it is what it is. And that is our money shot right there for NWS and Filo. So I technically have 2 more NWS pliers, but they're in a Black Friday gift set from KC Tool, and I think I'm going to give that to my nephew. So I didn't want to open those up again, although we did when we unboxed them. So yeah, that's that. This was our little Harbor Freight haul with demos and extra content for you. So hopefully you enjoyed. Again, we got a ton of Harbor Freight stuff I need to get to, but we'll do that in due time. Now, since we have these 4 extra tabs, thanks to our fat-handled pliers, maybe we need to grab another one and try to build the tiny, like, I have the little NWS bulb pliers, and I have some really fine side cutters from them, like precision snips. We could probably fit more than 15 pliers when they're that size of a handle. So anyway, that's that. I'm going to quit rambling. I got to get inside, work out, shower, wake up, start a new day. So hopefully you enjoyed. Again, I'm going to make a standalone on this. Some of you in this video might not care. It might appeal more to the German tool people, NWS fans and stuff like that. So we'll probably have a standalone covering it. But yeah, I will leave it at that. LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all 3 at Lone Star Mopars. If you have not subscribed, I encourage you to do so. If you ring the bell, YouTube just might notify you that we have new videos out every Saturday, tool content. Sometimes Wednesdays. Wednesdays typically automotive content when I have time. But yeah, pretty cool setup. I'm happy with it. I think we're going to have to expand upon it. Bring a couple of these in. I typically would not like the red. Straight up, not going to lie to you. That's not my color scheme, not my thing. For Knipex people, it probably works. For VHA pliers, it probably works. I've got some fat VHA handles too. But for NWS, I don't really have an objection. I think it probably looks better than black. So not a terrible little get up we got. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you back here for more from the shop. And how could I forget this bonus content? This video just never seems to end, does it? So these are the ones that blend in really well with the gantry, and they're currently functional. That's one that I probably should move. This, I've just got a mask hanging off of it from painting some stuff. But check it out. Oh yeah. So now I got to get my orange one from work, and then I think we're going to have to go ahead and get the yellow, maybe the white, and we'll just line up the whole Skittle configuration for you. So yeah, there the red one is. It looks pretty good there. Again, it is a little darker. Like the blue pops, it's a nice match to their boxes. The green is a good match, sort of a sublime color. The orange I don't have complaints with. That looks to be fire engine red there, but like from the side and the full profile in person, it's more of like a ruby red, just a little darker. But nonetheless, that'll do a good job holding the sign up for me at work. I'm gonna shut up, get inside, and call it a night. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.